Hi, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of the BodyMind Living magazine, where we are navigating fear and uncertainty in this month's issue. Whew, boy, this was quite the issue, and um, very powerful, transformative, and very healing for myself as I navigated literal fear and uncertainty in writing this article. It was not lost on me how situations and past things that, the situation that I talk about in the article, right, of navigating fear and uncertainty. And for me, just to write the article was me literally navigating fear and uncertainty. This is an article that I've wanted to write for several years now, several years. And I just didn't know how to go about it, or how to, probably because I wasn't fully healed from it yet. And I'm sure that, there's always going to be a little part that I get to keep deepening from this experience. Um, and literally, just going through and navigating fear and uncertainty. So, just I know how it can feel if there's a situation right now that perhaps you are navigating fear and uncertainty. And sometimes that tunnel can feel long and like you're never going to get to the other side. And like all the odds are stacked against you. And we want to go back to what we know and really, and it's almost like it's relying on ourselves, solely on ourselves. And there is support within you. There is your empowerment within you. And when you can shift into that space, and I know that this isn't easy, and because I did it. When I laugh because when I first heard you have to empower yourself, I'm like, I was so sick and tired of, why do I have to keep doing all the work? Like, why do I have to keep going through this process? Like, what is, and then finally I'm like, okay, let me empower myself. Like, what is in this for me? What is this trying to show me? What's coming through for me here? And stepping into that place of empowerment was truly, truly healing. And a light switch flipped for me. Like, it took a couple of days for that officer's question to land in my brain of how can you empower yourself here? After, I got into it and I felt that land in my body, that was a moment that switch flipped. It was like turning on the lights in the room. Like, I was in complete darkness, right? My family and I were just in complete darkness. And, this point of like hopelessness, just about, right? Like, there was like this one little ember of hope left. But it had just been such a long, hard road that it was really hard to keep that alive. So if you're navigating fear and uncertainty right now, and it feels like you're never going to get to the other side, or the road just feels too long to, it just feels like such a long, hard road. I just invite you to ask yourself the question of how can you empower yourself? How can you tap into the power that's within you? What is just one little step, one little way that you could shift your energy? Maybe it's you just go play your favorite song, in your AirPods or earbuds, or maybe just out loud in the house, right? Even if it's just for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, like, I'm literally talking minute to minute of just how can you empower yourself? How can you tap into that power, into your connection, and just baby step your way through this process as you navigate fear and uncertainty, whether it's in changing jobs, whether it's in moving to a different state, whether it's in, am I in the right relationship, whether, whatever is something that you are navigating this, in through your empowerment, in through tapping into you and your energy. That's where you really realize that you've been, that you have this support around you that maybe you haven't realized. And it's through these times that there's an invitation. And I know that that might be hard to hear. And because if someone had said that to me, I'm like, what? But now it's important to share it though, because there is an invitation and you don't have to accept it. I threw mine and burned my invitation in the garbage for several years, during this time until I finally saw it for what it was. So yeah, I invite you to ask the question, how can you empower yourself? How can you begin to flip that switch in your mind and step into the possibility? And it isn't that your situation is solved. It isn't that the issue or problem goes away. It isn't that, it's not that everything is hunky-dory and then you like, how can I step into the empowerment, right? Or how can I see my way through this? It's actually when you're in it, when you are in the fear and uncertainty, whatever that situation is, of how can you bring your empowerment to it? How can you bring your power to it? How can you begin to shift the energy and the perspective that you are coming from? And yeah, and just you get to see what shows up. And like I said, when there's, oftentimes in fear and uncertainty, like if we have another time in our life that was similar, we tend to like go back to what we know and what we've done in the past. And what we know is if you continually do what you've always done, you'll always get what you're getting. So if there's something that you're looking to get a different result and you're experiencing this fear and uncertainty, what would it look like to choose and accept that invitation and just play? I hope you enjoy this month's article of navigating fear and uncertainty. Bye for now.
This is Body Mind Living with Laura Wick. Thanks for watching.